Welcome to the Spark Series, where we ignite conversations with innovators, entrepreneurs, and changemakers creating real impact. Our goal is to spark ideas, share journeys, and inspire action. My name is Jason Williams, CEO for the Society of Innovators at Purdue Northwest, and I'm excited to welcome our guest today, Charita Lucas. She's the founder of Future Cycle Breakers, a nonprofit and social enterprise working to empower youth through entrepreneurship. A former advertising exec who broke cycles of poverty in her own life, Charita now runs leadership camps, mentorship programs, and product-based learning experiences for young people in underserved communities. In this episode, we're going to explore the intersection of business and social impact, how to create access and agency, and the importance of showing youth what's possible. So Charita, welcome.
Hi, Jason. Wow, that was a great introduction.
Yeah, happy. Well, excited to sit down and learn more about that. Before we really start diving into Future Cycle Breakers and your journey as an entrepreneur, take us back. Do you recall your first job? What was that, and what did you learn from it?
Oh, I absolutely 100% remember my first job. I was super excited about it. It was McDonald's. You might have heard of it. Back in the day, the outfits were crazy looking. It was like a real dark brown with stripes on it.
Oh, yeah.
I had these big, like, white nursing shoes and things like that. So we weren't making any fashion statements back then.
Good. So I'm sure you learned what you didn't want to do for the rest of your life. But did it truly anything from that first experience that you kind of brought forward with you through your career?
Yeah. So Jason, what I learned through working at McDonald's is, like, I guess the first word that comes to mind is like grit, right? And teamwork too. Because when you think about franchises like McDonald's, they don't work unless everybody works together, right? So those are the two things that I basically came away with was grit. You had to work really hard. And two, teamwork.
And now you've shared that Future Cycle Breakers is really born from your lived experience, maybe not necessarily from your McDonald's experience, but maybe safe to say from that grit. But share a little bit more about that story and really the origin of Future Cycle Breakers.
Oh, for sure. So I was born the first daughter of teen parents. My mom was 16 years old. My dad was 18 years old. And of course, born into, I got to find another word for generational cycles of poverty, but that's what it was. Yeah. It's like no one in my family had any higher education experience. I didn't either. I actually, high school is the highest education that I got. So just being brought up in an environment where there was all this family love, because dad was around too, right? And my other two sisters, we had the love, but we didn't really have access to a lot of different resources. So Future Cycle Breakers is about giving those individuals that have the same sort of lived experiences that I have in the communities that I grew up in, giving them access. One person that really shed light on my situation for me, that made me really believe that there was something outside of the environment that I lived in, was a teacher that I had. And she saw something in me that I hadn't seen in myself. And she took me to her house. In the projects, you were on a ramp and there were gates up around you. It was almost like being in a prison. There was no grass or anything like that. But she took me to a house. And when I walked in that house, there was a great big piano there. And I was like, oh my God, this is something, really, it was really life-changing. I sit here and I talk about it and I can't really explain or articulate in words what that meant to me. First, to see a house that wasn't connected to another house where there was actually grass, where there was a grand piano. And after that, she started taking me to theater. She started, just introducing me to things. So she popped that bubble that I was in, and it really sparked interest. It made me really want to see what else was out there.
Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you for sharing that story. What a wonderful teacher.
Yeah.
And I guess, is it safe to say then, just hearing that from you, is there some truth in just, a lot of these communities you're trying to focus on with Future Cycle Breakers, it's, these are young, leaders, would-be entrepreneurs, would-be, business leaders, community leaders. They don't know what they don't know.
Absolutely.
If maybe some truth of, if you want to be it, you have to see it first, and they just haven't seen it.
110%. We show them young folks that are entrepreneurs that have actually started businesses and things, right? It's not like the kids don't have the ability.
Right.
It's that they don't have access.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
So true.
And we miss out on so many future leaders because they don't have access. Yeah.
You did spend time in the private sector as an ad executive,
I did.
but you just shared, you really got through high school and then started a career. So, before we get into, the formation of the nonprofit business, what did that, your career journey look like? How did you get into the advertising industry?
I know, right? What I say is everybody's route is different. Right? My route is different than your route is different than somebody else's route. Long story short, I was a secretary. And then I learned that I have an aptitude for technology. In the 1990s, technology started to take off. And I had a great boss who said, okay, you have to decide if you're going to be an executive assistant to the president or if you're going to lead this technology movement that we're going to have here in the company. And I decided to move into technology and I started building networks, started leading teams of global experts. And it took 25 years to get there, almost 30 years actually. But I ended my career as a senior partner for our global advertising agency in technology.
Yeah, congratulations. So it's good for you, but really, really a pivotal moment. There was you saw an opportunity, maybe a trend and decided to invest in that. We're seeing that today, maybe AI technologies, obviously technology continues to evolve.
For sure, but it wasn't just me seeing it. It was someone else who saw it and then really made me choose. You can do a lot of different things, but it doesn't mean you're going to be great at any of them if you don't narrow your focus, right? And because he forced me to do that, I think that was part of my growth journey.
That's good. And certainly this is a story worth sharing, your journey regardless, but it didn't end there. And, I love this, this backstory of your career and the growth you experienced.
Yeah.
But then at some point, right, you're living the corporate life, you're the successful senior, executive. But then you kind of took a pause and you said, you know what, I'm going to pivot. I'm going to start a company. I want to start a nonprofit.
Yeah.
So, talk through that. When did you realize that you wanted to leave the corporate world and build something for the next generation?
So when I went and started in advertising, it was a small entrepreneurial company. Everybody knew everybody. We had dog days, but over time that changed because we got sold and bought and sold and bought, and it was all that type of stuff. It was just time. It was time to move on. And then I had to decide what I wanted to do next. And that's when we started dOSA Naturals. dOSA Naturals is a plant-based, waterless body care company. And we named it after our second great grandma, dOSA McGee.
Okay.
And her mantra is, let's keep life simple. And that's what dOSA Naturals is all about. Had a fair amount of success there. And I decided I wanted to teach the kiddies that look like me, that come from the background and have the same lived experiences, how to do what I did.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not even just about starting this, it's that mindset shift. Right. And then Future Cycle Breakers was born.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And so, so the entrepreneurship journey really started with, the natural care company, for profit, and then deciding there was an opportunity to give back. And what did opportunity look like then for you? And what does it look like now through your eyes as this leader of Future Cycle Breakers?
Well, opportunity back then looked like locked doors, right? Opportunities wasn't something or a word that was used for people that look like me where I came from, right? So now opportunity looks like Future Cycle Breakers providing keys for our future creators that open all of these doors and pathways now. Yeah. And we want to teach these future creators that they can be whatever they want. They really literally what they want to be. But they're They need keys, they need access, they need resources. Again, it's not about them, the ability, they just don't have access.
Yeah, no, I love that analogy. That's a great picture. Starting a nonprofit is rarely glamorous. There's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, there's a cause, but it's still a business.
Yeah.
And, this is starting a new business from scratch.
Yeah.
So talk about that a little bit. Maybe that having the experience, helping start a for-profit and now a nonprofit. How did you really get Future Cycle Breakers off the ground?
Yeah. So it is not glamorous. That's what a lot of people will think. It's hard work. I just started talking to people.
Okay.
My career in advertising helped me prepare for starting Future Cycle Breakers because I have access to a lot of resources, to creative designers, to copywriters, to attorneys. And so I just asked those individuals if they'd be interested in mentoring. Relationships are everything when you're trying to start a business. You have to realize that you cannot do it alone. And what's so great about Future Cycle Breakers and just a nonprofit in general is you have boards, you have people around you. You don't have to feel like you have to be the smartest person in the room. That really helps to guide and to help.
It sounds like you were also at a point in your career where you felt comfortable having built a village around you, right?
Yes.
The social capital just as much as the funding that into the business. So that's great. And then, looking at the work through Future Cycle Breakers, I know you talk a lot about mentorship, sponsorship, and entrepreneurship as that trifecta for transformation. So how do those three elements also shape the way you've sustained the organization, from building those partnerships to keeping the programs funded?
Oh, yeah. The mentorships is what keeps us grounded in our communities, right? Having those people fired up, wanting to help, right? And then the sponsorships are taking those allies that we have and turning them into investors for change. And then that last part is the entrepreneurship is what sustains us, right? That's what's going to sustain us. And that's that mindset that we're trying to teach our future creators going forward. So that's why, when you put those three together, that's when you see real transformation.
And then final thing, I just wanted to hear from you. My final question is, looking at the young entrepreneurs, some of the young professionals that may be watching this, what is one thing that you wish younger entrepreneurs understood about leadership and resilience?
I want younger people to really believe that they have the power to make change. Not just for themselves, but for the future as well. And not to measure your success against what you see on social media, because people on social media are showing you what they want you to see, right? To know that your life is going to be messy, to know that your path is going to be bumpy, and that's okay, that you need to really push through and follow your path, not somebody else's, your path.
And then just finally, right, we've been talking about Future Cycle Breakers. How do we find out more? Where does someone find out about Future Cycle Breakers?
Yes, go to futurecyclebreakers.org. Okay. You'll find us there. And we have a lot of amazing transformational programming. We're all digital now, so it's all there for you, futurecyclebreakers.org.
Fantastic. Well, Charita, thank you so much. Really enjoyed the conversation. And
thank you, Jason, so much.
Good luck as you continue to push that destination further away.
So, take that journey.
You're going to get there.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you.